Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Ramblings from Two Meddling Kids, the podcast where me and my friend, we like to get together and review movies. So, I am Edward Hunt, one half of the Meddling Kids, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Mike Cunningham.
And we are the Meddling Kids. And today, we'll be reviewing Renfield, Dracula Nick Cage extraordinaire. For those of you just joining for the first time, or if you want a quick review, what we always do is we'll give you a spoiler-free review first. All right, so that'll be 5-10 minutes here of us just giving you our overall thoughts on the movie from a 0 to 5. We will do our best to not really spoil anything. That way it can help you decide whether or not you want to watch the movie. From there, we're going to give you some background and actually go through the movie kind of scene by scene and discuss our thoughts about what's going on. All right, Mike, you ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
All right, 0 out of 5, sir. What do you give it?
2.5.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it was like, this was when I was kind of excited for. So obviously Nick Cage does 48 movies a year. And every now and again, a few are fairly decent. And so like last year he had the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I thought was really good. I don't think too many people saw it, but it was like, I enjoyed it. I think I enjoy when celebrities especially, but just people in general can laugh at themselves, right? They really don't take themselves too serious. So it was a movie about Nick Cage playing literally Nick Cage. Yeah. So it was like he was in on the joke. I thought it was really funny. Pedro Pascal, who's amazing.
Hollywood sweetheart.
Their chemistry was like really great. So it was like, I thought that movie was great. So I saw this one and I was like, oh, and it's fucking Nick Cage playing another vampire. Obviously he did I think a movie in the 90s called Vampire's Kiss. Okay. Where he thought he was turning into... It was a super weird movie.
Oh, yes. And he, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, so just like seeing him play another vampire, and apparently I was looking in the trivia, it was saying how like he's always wanted to play Dracula. Okay. Like that was one of his dream roles, which obviously is a weirdo like Nick Cage. That makes all of the sense.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, so just like I was really excited when I saw the trailer. It seemed like just like Unbearable Weight that he was like leaning into the absurdity of, playing Dracula, playing, a vampire. So I was really, really excited. I really like Nicholas Hoult. But I don't know, it was weird. I just feel like the story was fine. The action was great. It was shot well. I think it was like very rushed because it's a tight hour and a half. So you didn't really get a feeling for too much of the characters, and even the story seemed kind of weak, right? It was like, look how wild you could be with like a vampire and his familiar. Like there's so many you can take. It's been taken seriously, like with an interview with a vampire, or like you can literally lean into the absurdity of this and the comedy of it. So I think it was just like they kind of didn't go all the way enough with this one for it to be like a really, really great film. It was like fun, like I said. That's what it was. Yeah, that's why I gave it a 2.5. It was like I did have fun, but it was like also not as over the top as I would have hoped it to be.
Fair. Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I'm going to also give it a 2.5. To me, and what it felt like watching it and even leaving the theater, it felt like Cocaine Bear. Of that same this is a fun movie with a lot of violence, but you're not really going deep in a lot.
They didn't go over the top of that.
Yeah, you're not really going in deep. You're just kind of expected to be like, yep, okay, that's like the cop trope. Yep, that's the whatever trope, and you just kind of accept it. And it was fun. I mean, I think Nick Cage's Dracula was pretty funny. I think it did pretty well. Excuse me, like the.
I'm surprised you didn't come in with the.
So I mean, that was fun. Nick Cage being Nick Cage, as always, is good, and I think I do agree. I like Nick Cage a lot, and I think he has been able to just really lean into recently, like the absurdity that is his character, Nick Cage, because. There's a lot of times where there was a time when he wasn't leaning into the absurdity that was Nick Cage, like the bees are in my mouth. Oh God, why the bees? That was it was just
phenomenal recreation of
Thank you. Well. Yes, thank you. I mean, otherwise, literally, like I'd be bursting everywhere. The bees! Oh God, the bees! Yeah. So that was Wicker Man for those that may not know with Nick Cage. So, but getting back to Renfield,
classic film, not the bees.
Yeah. That was literally
what the fuck is the Wicker Man?
Wicker Man, aka not the bees. Oh God, the bees are in my mouth. But yeah, with this one, it was fun. It wasn't bad. I will say there were times towards like in the very end of the movie, I was like, okay, I'm a little bored. I was, and this is like an action
Yeah.
stuff. There's like action sequence going on. It's like supposed to be the big final fight, and I'm like, I'm a little bored. So that was my like kind of takeaway a little bit. But there was a lot of parts where it was pretty funny. It was definitely different and entertaining, which I liked. Also, it had a lot of good references back to original Dracula lore, like the book by Bram Stoker, Renfield, and we'll go into this a little bit more going forward. And when I talk about like, Renfield was Dracula's assistant. They kind of combined Renfield and Jonathan Harker's character in this, but I think there were other Dracula adaptations that already did that, of just kind of had Renfield and Harker be like the same person. In the original book, Renfield is a very different character than Harker, but blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that as we go along. But yeah, so fun. There were fun parts of it for sure. Ultra violence was pretty decent. But yeah, 2.5. I'd say. So, Mike, do you think it's worth seeing in theaters, or should people wait?
I think this is you can rent it. You can wait.
Yeah, wait till it's like on HBO Max or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like obviously I enjoy the movie going experience, so like I'll, for the most part, probably see anything in the theater. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Obviously, I mean, we'll talk about the box office. I don't think many people were excited to see this one in theaters anyway.
Yeah, but I will agree with your sentiment too, man. Of I was pretty excited for this. I was like, yes, this is going to be great. We got Nick Cage's Dracula. What's going to happen? I was like, well, it was. I don't regret going, and that's not bad. But yeah.
It's interesting because me, I don't do horror, and it was like obviously it's Dracula, so there's going to be elements of it. Like I didn't know how much.
Yeah.
I was hoping that they would lean more into comedy than the horror portion, and I think for me, it wasn't as obviously there was some gore, but it wasn't like crazy. So it was just like it was like me being excited about a horror movie is like. Very rare.
Yeah.
Unless it's they're redoing Scooby Doo.
An actual horror Scooby Doo might be kind of fun. Anyway, but I agree. There wasn't like a lot of horror in general. There was gore, yes, and violence, yes, but I wouldn't really call this a horror movie like at any point in time. But yeah. So Mike and I both give it a 2.5. We think it was pretty decent, but you maybe don't necessarily have to see it in theaters. If you really want to go to the movies and you do watch it, you're not going to be like super disappointed about it. But if you don't go to the movies a lot, there are potentially other better movies in box office right now to go see. Maybe like John Wick 4, but that's just me. All right. What we always like to do from here is like to get into a little bit of background, go about like what's going on with this movie. So Mike, what do we have?
All right, so Renfield came out this year, April 14th, 2023. The runtime is 1 hour and 33 minutes, so not too bad. Like I said, it was very quick, but I think that also kind of hurt it in a way.
Yeah.
The budget was $65 million. The box office for this first weekend, obviously, it just came out, was $7.7 million domestic. I think about $10 million international, so not great.
No.
It actually finished fourth behind Super Mario, The Pope's Exorcist, which
that's right.
obviously
Okay. I still gotta see that.
the big horror film for right now, and then John Wick Chapter 4.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it was. I mean, now we're getting to that time where there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of stuff out in the box office now. It's just for a while after the pandemic, it was like one movie a week or one big release a week, but now you're seeing there's more competition at the theater. So like The Pope's Exorcist came out. That was another horror movie, but that was more geared towards horror. So I think people went out. I mean, not too many more people. I think Pope's Exorcist did 9.1 million this weekend. So not that much better than Renfield, but there's a lot more competition now. Rotten Tomatoes has it as the critics 59 and audience at 81.
Okay.
But I can see that making sense.
Yeah.
Like the critics, it wasn't that great, but the audience really loved the over-the-topness of Nicolas Cage. So.
Yeah, it's goofy, it's fun, it's kind of funny. I get that. Of like, it's like you go in, and because also I would say honestly, a 2.5 for us isn't a bad movie. So honestly,
not at all. Yeah.
And so like with that, like because Rotten Tomatoes always does. Oh, is it 81% of people say, yeah, it's pretty good. Like a 3 out of 5 is, or 2.5 out of 5 is like hey, it's pretty good. So that would count as a positive for Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, I get that.
It was the genre was comedy, horror, fantasy, and like we said, I think they lean more into the. I didn't see too much fantasy, but
Myth-
whatever. I don't,
mythological
I
creature
don't
Dracula.
put these things in buckets.
Yeah.
The director was Chris Mckay, who had done. He hasn't. I'm looking at his credits now. So he actually wrote on Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst
Oh,
Thieves,
cool.
which is
Okay.
interesting. We just did that one, but he hasn't directed too much. He only did the Lego Batman movie, which is really good. I enjoyed that one. The Tomorrow War. Did you see that one
The Tomorrow
with your
War?
doppelganger?
Was that the?
Yeah, with Chris Pratt.
Yes. Yeah, I remember seeing that one. Yeah. That was, okay. I saw it on the plane. So. So,
Yeah, and then Renfield. So those are his credits as a director, and then he has a lot of writing credits and some TV credits,
nice.
which is interesting. But yeah, so starring Nicolas Cage as Dracula, Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, Aquafina as I believe her name was Rebecca Quincy,
Yes.
and then Ben Schwartz, aka Sonic, as Ted Lobo, which I think did not help. It really didn't help. I think he might get the same way like kind of Ryan Reynolds, like with his voice, a lot of his voice acting, it takes you away. Like you'll just hear Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like I watched Detective Pikachu and it literally was Deadpool.
No, it's Pikachu Deadpool. Quite different.
Which would be an interesting.
Right?
Well, anyway, there weren't too many other big names in this one. And then the tagline is just "sucks to be him," which
Yeah, okay.
clever, I guess. It's a slow clap. It was like you did a thing. All right.
He just patted like, son of a bitch, you did it again. Look at you.
Did you solve all of Philip?
Yes. All the films from now on forever. Just get this guy. He's got it.
But yeah, that's the background information I have. And like I said, I think the other big trivia thing was Nicolas Cage saying how much he wanted to play Dracula.
Yeah.
In his career, and you could really see him in his performance. Like he is literally loving every minute.
Yeah.
Of finally being able to play Dracula.
Yeah, and I think that's it. He's definitely having a blast, which was apparent, which is always nice when you're watching it. You're like, hey, that guy enjoys what he's doing right now, which does bring that more like over the top joy to everything too. Cool. Before we get into our play-by-play now, a quick word from our sponsors. This guy. What's up, everybody? My name is Edward Hunt. I'm on the Just Be team of Compass. I'm a real estate agent in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Rather, my team covers Virginia. I have D.C. and Maryland. So if you want any advice about the market or anything going on, or you need a contractor, a lender, feel free to reach out to me at any point in time. I can connect you with some phenomenal people. Also want to say that Compass is a nationwide brokerage. So if you want it, you live in Idaho, you live in Wisconsin, you live in another state I didn't say, I can definitely find you an agent or get you some resources for that as well. So again, if you have any questions about anything home related, feel free to reach out anytime. Also, coming up, there's going to be a new fun project that I will be announcing probably in the next week or two as well. You probably heard me mention it a while ago. Well, it finally came to fruition, everybody, so stay tuned. All right, so a Dracula movie, all right? People are skipping, there are children playing and singing and dancing, right? There's lots of sunshine because they love sun, right? How does this movie start, Mike?
I was about to say I don't know which one. Yeah, so I think this was interesting too. It's just like I couldn't really remember how to open. Thank God for notes. So we start at this 12-step self-help group meeting. You see Renfield is sitting in this group meeting, and it's for people who are in codependent relationships. So you see people just talking about how they're in a relationship with like somebody, whether it's a spouse, or just like a parent or whatever it is. But just like they can't leave this relationship. They realize that it's toxic, but they just don't know how to leave the relationship. And which is an interesting way for us to get introduced to Renfield, talking about his boss and being very secretive about what he does. So then when Renfield does it's his turn to talk, he gives you his backstory. So like in the early 20th century, he was a lawyer or like a real estate.
He was a real estate.
No, he was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like trying to broker a deal for some land for Dracula, and he ended up just becoming his familiar.
Yeah. And something I loved about this in general is so Jonathan Harker, and this was what I was talking about. So Jonathan Harker was like the main character of Bram Stoker's or one of the main characters. There are multiple main characters it comes through a lot, but he was the first character you're introduced to in Dracula, and that's Jonathan Harker. Also related to Mina Harker, if you know the Dracula lore, etc. But he was a real estate lawyer. Renfield in the original Bram Stoker's Dracula was a crazy dude in a lunatic asylum who was one of Dracula's minions / like servants and did stuff for him. How he really did stuff for him while he was chilling in an insane asylum, I don't know. But this book was written in 1897, so different times, different things are going on. But so that was I really appreciated though, because not only did they have this reference to actual Dracula lore, it was also in black and white, and it felt older, and I loved that. They were like, this is a flashback, so they even had like an older style of costume and camera effects and all that, and I really appreciated that. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So as we learn, at one point, they are killed by Van Helsing, which I know is another big like monster hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So they're killed by Van Helsing, and he reforms. Not reforms, but Dracula reforms, and then brings back Renfield, and then they go off and they start hiding because obviously there's a bunch of vampire hunters coming after them. So anytime they are found out, they flee to find new place to settle, and they've settled now in after 90 years of being his familiar, they've settled in New Orleans.
So for a question, because I was also, to refresh my memory, and sorry everybody, we had events, so there might have been a few libations imbibed upon before going to this movie. So there's some spotty parts for sure. But I don't really remember them being killed by Van Helsing, but I remember the other hunters where it happened, and then he got caught in the circle. Then Renfield decided to say, "Hey," because Renfield almost had that time where he was like, "You know what? I'm not going to save Dracula. I'm going to help the hunters who have him caught." And then Dracula, in his total like toxic relationship way, he's like, "You need me. I'm the only one that loves you." And it's like, well, damn, the movie really had a lot of toxic relationship, talk in it as well. So if you are in a bad relationship, I'm very sorry, but watch this movie. It may help with that because, it's bad things. All right.
So yeah, he's, they relocated to New Orleans, and obviously while Dracula sleeps during the day, I think he's recovering because he'd been hurt right before they got to New Orleans. So like he's like still trying to reform and all that.
Yeah.
So obviously Renfield brings him like people for Dracula to consume so he can regain his power.
Blah blah blah.
He does the bidding. He does the bidding of Dracula, and I think it was interesting. You see, the reason that he's in the self-help group is one to kind of get some help because he, after 90 years, he doesn't feel the same way he did when he first became Dracula's familiar.
Yeah.
So he's like trying to find a way to get out of this toxic relationship. But also, it's interesting. What he's doing is the people that are hurting, the toxic people that are hurting the people in the group, he is going to them to get, basically killing them.
Mm-hmm.
So one, it's kind of like on some vigilante shit where it's just like he's ridding the bad people in the world that are hurting the people from the group. So I thought that was really an interesting way because it was like I'm thinking if I'm a familiar in modern times, right? How do I get victims or whatever for Dracula? And I thought that was an interesting way because it makes him not look as much as a serial killer in that way, right? He's at least trying to do some good. Once again, he's the murderer or the assistant to murder, but he's trying to do something.
It's like so great. So in the past 5 years now, he has finally decided to stop fucking up. But there's just a solid 85 years of him just being absolute scum, murdering everybody.
There's always a chance for redemption.
That's true. There is always a chance for redemption. I'm not saying there's not. We as humans need to be able to grow. But the man was a dickhead for a long time, who was attracted by Dracula's wealth and power, status, etc. But yes.
Anyway, I don't know why you're saying such the negative parts of it.
Oh, sorry, he's the main character. He has no flaws. He's totally fine. We love this guy. All right, don't worry about any past misgivings.
So yeah, then we see Renfield is following one of the abusive lovers of one of the group members to a warehouse so that he can kill him and take him back to Dracula. But I think he stumbles on like some drug. The guy is like a drug dealer or something like that, or some type of criminal.
Yeah.
And they hijacked another crime family's their money. So while Renfield is there trying to take out these bad guys to bring to Dracula, the rival crime family, the Lobo family, attacks. So Renfield is in really just a wrong place, wrong time type of scenario. But this is the first time you get to see that part of the deal with him being Dracula's familiar is that Dracula gets power from consuming human blood, and in the same way. Renfield gets power from consuming bugs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a big thing in the books or whatever.
So in the books, yes and. So what Renfield in the books in general, he believes that blood will give him power. Like in general, blood will give him immortality, blood gives him power, but it's not bugs. So he has this whole crazy shit in the book, and I think they might have it in the show too, where he like starts with a bug, and he has flies. So he collects flies in a jar, and then what he does is he feeds those flies to a spider, and then he gets a bunch of spiders that he feeds to, and then he feeds those spiders to birds, or maybe he feeds maybe it's flies. There's a whole bunch like bugs, a bunch of different bugs eating bugs. Eventually, Renfield works his way up to birds eating all the bugs because Renfield thinks if he feeds them and he keeps getting bigger animals, he'll then be able to eat those animals and get power. So then it has like this bird, and he's like, "I need a cat. Give me a cat," because he wants the cat to eat the birds. The doctors in the insane asylum tell him no, so he's like, "I know what to do," and he eats the birds. It's just, the man's crazy, but it is very much if he eats shit, he'll get power. They simplified it greatly here and said, "Hey, if he eats a bug."
I think so. It's interesting. I feel like what they could have done with that is like he needs to consume blood, but he doesn't have it in him to actually eat another human or something like that. So his compromise. Is bugs. I feel like that would have been a little bit more interesting. So it's still taking what was in the book, but like making it so once again, because since he is technically the protagonist in this film, and so like he couldn't consume another human's blood, even though he does it for Dracula, but he does need blood. So his compromise is, I can eat random bugs and spiders.
Yeah, because that would make it.
I think that would.
Yeah, I agree. That would be like actually like more redeeming because it's like as long as he has anything living that he eats or kills or drinks the blood of, that's fine. But yeah, as the way to make him be a nicer people we like more, it's like, oh, well, no one cares about eating a fly or a spider, even though honestly that grosses me the hell out. But whatever, that's just
only for fear factor.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, that
I only did it for $5,000.
$5,000. That's just 2 spiders and a bull testicle, and that's what he has now. All right, that's how Renfield gets his powers. All right, Joe Rogan comes on. It's be a lot of fun.
But anyway, so you do see that Renfield keeps a little I think it's like a matchbox or something like that, full of like just different insects.
It's in the shape of a coffin, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
this little coffin box with bugs. Right.
But so he consumes, and this is where you get him this is the first action scene where he consumes, I assume a spider or something, whatever it is. And then he gets a surge of power, and he just starts, ripping off people's limbs and heads and stuff like that. So he takes out the drug dealers, the abusive lover and his friends, and then he also takes out the assassins that had come to take them out.
Yeah.
And then he, somehow takes all of these bodies back to Dracula, and I don't think Dracula was really, he was really upset about it.
Well, it's because he was feeding him this was a ridiculous scene because he's feeding him the impure blood with all the drug dealers and all that. He wants pure blood. All right, Dracula wants cheerleaders, nuns, but it's not a gender thing. He said so himself, so it's fine. It's just.
And so I think and this is where we get introduced. Like I said, it was the assassins for the Lobo crime family. So Teddy, who is the son of the head of the crime family,
Schwartz,
was there as well. And he saw Renfield killing all his men. So, but he's able to flee.
Well, he didn't
because
see
I think
Renfield because the other assassin came in who was like the big head. Who also that man comes out looking like Leatherface, whatever, with a burlap sack on his head and like killing all his chucking knives. And Renfield just punches off his head, like literally just punches his head.
Oh yeah. He was outside.
Ben Schwartz's character Teddy, he was just chilling in his car, being like literally. I think that's my issue with Ben Schwartz. Is just what's his character's name in Parks and Rec?
It is John Ralphio.
Yeah, John Ralphio. He was literally John Ralphio in a crime family. That's literally what this character was.
I feel like it was a little jarring because it is a comedy, right?
Yeah.
But it was like I think he's basically playing a cartoon character, which is weird because once again it is a comedy, so like you're supposed to laugh and stuff like that. But it was just like it was just kind of out of place.
Yeah.
In this film, at least that. Whatever character he was playing.
I mean,
because also you can't take him serious as a tough guy.
No,
and I guess that was the point. But it was like you really couldn't take him serious.
Not even a little bit.
Like I don't care how tatted your neck is.
Yeah.
How slick back your hair is. In a classic bad guy looks. But it was just like I see your face and you open your mouth and I'm just like, no. It's not a tough guy.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was like, it just how he was acting. But yeah, so then when Renfield punches the assassin's head, it runs into Teddy's car. Then Teddy freaks the fuck out and gets right on out of Dodge.
Yeah. So Renfield takes the corpses back to Dracula, who has a whole fit because it's like none of these people appear. And then at the same time, Teddy he's driving away freaking out, and he gets stopped at a sobriety check.
In New Orleans, I didn't think they had those.
Because it's New Orleans. And the checkpoint is run by Rebecca Quincy, Awkwafina's character, who was a second generation police officer. And so, in his fleeing, he forgets that he has a bunch of cocaine and stuff in the car. So he attempts to drive away and crashes. Yeah. And then I think he throws cocaine.
He's running away from the cops while chucking the bricks of cocaine at the cops.
Once again, the cartoon character. You can't take this man serious.
That was pretty funny.
But Rebecca recognizes him as Teddy Lobo, a part of the Lobo crime.
It's also because literally he's like, "Get the fuck out of my way! I'm Teddy fucking Lobo." Verbatim what he says. Rebecca's like, "That's Teddy Lobo," and the cop's like, "How do you know?" And you just hear Teddy be like, "Get out of my way! I'm Teddy fucking Lobo." Like, oh, okay, yeah.
And Rebecca has a big vendetta against the Lobo crime family because her dad was a cop that got killed by the Lobo family.
She is the character, the cop trope of my father or mother was a cop and they were killed by this crime family. Like
they're killed on duty.
Yeah, killed in line of duty. So now now I'm looking for revenge and whatever I can. Like that's her character. That's the whole motivation and also kind of her whole personality in this movie. It's very simplified. This is what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, yeah.
And so she tries to arrest Teddy, but there are some corrupt officers, that outrank her or whatever, so they let him go. And then back at the police station, we get introduced to an FBI agent, Kate, who was her sister. And then we get more backstory about how their dad got killed by the Lobo crime family, and that's why Rebecca hates them so much and is trying to get them arrested, but obviously she doesn't have the juice or whatever to do anything actually, that would benefit getting them either brought to justice or getting revenge. And then so after that, I forgot. Yeah, not much happens in this movie.
Right. Yeah. So after that, it's like the Lobos are like, "Yo, I'm tired of which Rebecca, searching around. We have to go kill Rebecca because Teddy Lobo. Oh, because you see the Lobo crime family. Teddy goes and meets his mom, and you realize his mom is a crazy psychopathic torturer and that's like the whole thing with the Lobos is they're just that vicious because there's this conversation between like Teddy and his mom, and like in the background there's like a doctor like torturing somebody just because, and that's why, and the mom's like, this is why the Lobo, we're feared so much. We don't have the most money or the most manpower, but we'll kill anybody. And I'm like, okay. Also, that character, his mom is Shokren. I can't pronounce that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to butcher her
but
name.
She has.
Sorry, Sorry,
I
go
was gonna
ahead.
say she just has like that perfect raspy voice of like the been smoking cigarettes for 40 years and be like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm
Let me tell you about it. Yeah, but yeah. So I couldn't pronounce her name, and I don't want to butcher it. So like that's why I left her off
yeah, I'm not gonna
the
lie.
casting.
Look, Shohresh Gadashlo, and I apologize for butchering that. I'll be the one. I'll take the blame. All right.
But yeah, so yeah, like you said, the Teddy's mother. Well, one, back to Dracula and Renfield. Super upset that he didn't bring him, a sufficient meal. So like now Teddy has to go back out to find more pure souls or whatever. So he goes to a restaurant, to I guess to think and eat or whatever. And we get Teddy back at the Lobo crime family. They're saying that they need to just get rid of Rebecca Quincy. Like she's been a thorn in their side for too long. Obviously because they killed her dad. So they just finally need to just take her off the board.
Yeah.
So they send another team to take her out, and she also just happens to go to
The restaurant. Well, she goes to the same restaurant because
yeah.
Renfield used a pen from that restaurant to stab,
Yes.
and kill one of the guys and like the assassins. So since that's her
Yes.
clue, so now she's like, I'm going back to this restaurant now too, where now this is where all of our characters are now coming together because that's Renfield likes that restaurant because it's super dumb, tourist trap New Orleans of like the whole like dancing skulls and all that. But yeah.
Yeah. So there we get another attack by the Lobos family, and like because Teddy's kind of pressured. Like you said, there was like the one thing that's known about the Lobo family is they don't play games.
Yeah. Which, how in the world Teddy wound up like that is ridiculous. Like, if his mother is like that, why is Teddy like this? That makes no sense.
I was gonna say I can get entitlement, obviously, just because of the fact that they have money, but it was just like him being like once again, he's a cartoon character. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Especially if that, like you said, if that's the person that raised you. But so I think the Lobos family attacks at the restaurant. Renfield trying to, I think he admires Rebecca because she's by herself. Obviously, the assassins are there to kill her, and she stands her ground.
Yeah.
And like so, I think he admires that, and so he uses his powers to help her take out the assassins and the gang members.
And I have a question.
Which was another really cool scene. Sorry.
No, I agree. Very cool scene. Lots of blood and gore. That's where you see in the scene in the trailer where Renfield like cuts through the dude's arms, and Rebecca's like, "Did you cut through a guy's arms with a serving platter?" And he's like, "It's all on the wrist." But I think it was Rebecca who stabs Teddy Lobo in the neck with the fork, right?
Yes.
How did that man survive that? With the amount of blood, that was my one thing. But like watching from an inconsistency, because she stabs him in the neck with this fork, and it's like blood is just gushing out and exploding. And then you see him like 10 seconds later in a later scene, and there's like barely a mark on his neck. And I was like, "Huh, man has superpowers too." I guess that's the only explanation. Cartoon characters, they can blow up and come back at will, so it makes sense with the cartoon character.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Rebecca, escapes the assassination attempt. Teddy once again gets out of there somehow.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying. Like, man gets stabbed in the neck. It looks like he should be dead, but everyone but him dies. So
and so I think this is where what's his name? Renfield goes back to the support group again. I think there was another I think a running bit where it was just like. This one woman was always like, she was talking or whatever, and then like he just cut it. She's like, this fucking guy, man. Like,
yeah, because Renfield never shared. So then the other woman, whenever she was sharing, Renfield would come in and be like, "I'm ready to share," and everyone's like, "Oh yes, Renfield share." And she's like, I guess I won't finish my story. That's cool too. Whatever." Yeah.
So yeah, he finally shares, and he decides that he wants to make a change after meeting Rebecca. So he he gets himself an apartment. He and he starts, because this is another thing from the trailer. It was just like, what if you don't help him? He was like, he won't come to full power. And he's like, yes. Why would you say it like that?
Weird. Why would you say that? But yes, he won't come to full power. Yeah.
And so because he realized that if he doesn't bring Dracula his meals, nobody will. Yeah. And that way he can't reform and come to full power. I hate saying it. But so he starts neglecting what's his name, Dracula.
Yeah, he just
But luckily for Dracula,
yeah, he like ditches them, gets a new apartment, starts to get a new look. You know, he's has a sweater now.
but luckily for Dracula, I think Teddy is his mother tells him to hunt down the people, hunt down Renfield,
Yeah,
basically.
because they have like their crazy. So yeah, so they're what from the therapy session, and all that. Teddy is like, "Yep, cool. I'm gonna have my new apartment now." He's clearly he's crushing on Rebecca. He goes and tries to meet her at the station to give her flowers and everything, and that's going on. And then, yeah. Teddy, Lobo, the Lobo family, they have this crazy high tech face tracking. You know, they could like, that Batman Begins or Batman whatever, no, Dark Knight, when they could like track everyone by their cell phones. The Lobos have that pretty much, because only with faces, because they can hack into every camera in the entire city and be like, I know where this man is. He was at this abandoned hospital. So yeah, Mike, as you were saying, Teddy Lobo goes in with a group to Dracula's lair, and I guess now we're friends with Dracula.
Yeah, so he finds Dracula. I think, does he go in by himself,
He goes in with a group.
is there another action?
He goes in with like another group of like 4 or 5 dudes, and they're looking for it. And they all have guns, and Dracula just takes them all out one by one. You see him get like dragged off screen, etc.
That's what I'm saying. It was just like literally every time Teddy's with a group of guys, he's the only one making it out.
But
he makes a deal with Dracula, is saying his family is like one of the biggest crime families. All they like, because you realizing Renfield has had a change of heart, so he doesn't want to be a murderer anymore. He doesn't want to do that stuff. And Teddy's like, no, murder is all my family does.
He's like, we're evil. We're bad guys. We're evil. We like this. Yes. Fuck yeah. Let's do it. Yeah.
And so what happens? Oh yeah, so now Teddy Lobo becomes Dracula's new familiar.
Yeah,
and now Dracula not only has a new familiar, but he has the crime family, as a resource. Because he has a plan. I couldn't remember what his plan was. I think to take over the city or something.
Oh yeah, Dracula now wants to like take over the world, because Renfield goes back, and Dracula is officially, because Renfield is like, why are we this? We can have like a normal life or be so much better. So Dracula takes that to be, oh, you're right. We can take over the world, and everyone will serve me, and that's what we're going to do now. And that's also like the catalyst for why Renfield wanted to get out of there. But this is, so then when, Teddy becomes Dracula's new familiar, then like Teddy introduces Dracula to his mom, and he's like, it's motherfucking Dracula! Like, that was pretty funny. I appreciated that. There were some redeeming qualities to Ben Schwartz being John Ralphio in this movie.
So Renfield returns. So he makes a statement after the fight the assault at the restaurant, because he wants to help bring down the Lobo crime family. Because that's another thing. Nobody will, speak up against them. So that's why there's never been charges or anything like that. Yeah. So he, once again, being inspired by Rebecca, he makes a statement.
He just has a crush on Rebecca. He doesn't give a fuck about taking down the crime family. He's just trying to get in with Rebecca.
And then so he goes back to his apartment, and Dracula is sitting at the table because he has a welcome mat that says just come on in or something like that. And it was like, that was something I remembered. It was like, any vampires they must be invited in.
Yeah, that was one of the, like, because it wasn't that subtle, because they did pan to it and he's like, damn it. But that was like such a perfect vampire joke. I think that is the most perfect vampire joke I've ever seen, because it is so ridiculous, but it's like, welcome, come on in. It's like, you're just welcoming vampires, and man, like, you should, like we talked about, like, he should have known.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why it didn't make sense. It was like, I get you have this new lease on life, but it was just like, the rules of vampires. Like, what are you doing?
No, he's out of this toxic relationship. He is fixing his life. He's getting it all together now, and apparently you need to welcome that.
And so, he tells Dracula he doesn't want to do that anymore, and I think he mentions the support group.
So how he has it is like the support group has the book, right? So there's like that book that they have where it's like it's not to be a narcissist, and Renfield's like, get away from me, and holds it up like it's the Bible, because like the Bible would like repel Dracula, but in this case, it's how to protect yourself from a narcissist or whatever. And on the back, is the church, which says like that group, and Dracula's like, of course the church is involved with all of this, and then that's where you get chaos.
So he, Dracula recognizes that the reason for Renfield's change of heart is the support group, so he goes to, finish this, to take them out. And so Renfield gets there first somehow. Yeah. I guess maybe because Dracula actually didn't know where it was.
I think it was I guess it wasn't daytime. I don't know. It looked like it might have been daytime. I don't.
True. You're right. It was during the day when which. I guess.
But then, how did Dracula get in his apartment during the day and then leave?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was saying, because it was daytime when he was in his apartment. But that night, Renfield rushes to the support group to tell you that you guys need to get out of here. Like, my boss is...
Interrupts the woman again.
Exactly. He interrupts the lady again. And then Dracula opens the door to the I guess they were not in a warehouse. It looked like a gym.
Yeah, they were like a gymnasium, auditorium side thing.
Yeah. And so Dracula opens the door, and Matt, the leader of the support group, goes, "Are you here for the meeting?" And he goes, "Well, come on in." And Renfield tries to stop him, but he's already been welcomed in. So Dracula comes in, and he gives his whole speech about who he is. And it was like, people are still thinking that this is just like a toxic boss or some shit like that. And then he lets them know that he's fucking Dracula.
Yeah, you're Renfield's boss. Yeah.
And so he proceeds to take out everyone in the support group. Yeah. And then at the same time, I can't remember why, but Rebecca shows up to the support group.
I think it's...
And the only person...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so with that, so he kills everyone, and then Dracula leaves, and Dracula's like, I'm going to kill everyone you ever care about or love, and then Dracula leaves. Rebecca goes, because she actually is a pretty decent cop and putting like leads together, like the pen, perfect. So then she winds up talking to the girlfriends of the support group, because there were two of them there, the drug dealer dickhead boyfriends at the beginning that died. She meets the girlfriends, and she's like, how do you two know each other? And they're like, oh, we go to the same support group together. She's like, you go to the same support group? And then she rushes over to that support group, and then she finds Renfield surrounded by all the dead bodies.
Yeah, and then I think she tries to arrest him, but she's they're interrupted by like some more foot soldiers from the Lobos crime family. Yeah,
well, she does arrest him, then she
No, she does arrest him, and then I think that's when she realized that there's like corrupt cops in the police department, because it was like the cops want her to hand over Renfield to the Lobos crime family. Yeah. And it's something she refuses to do. So like she drives away. There's like I think somehow I can't remember what happened. I just know they like drive away or something. Yeah, she puts him because he's in the car. She gets in the car and drives away to avoid the police or whatever. Yeah. And then
well, see, this is how you know the movie's very fictional, too, because apparently every cop in New Orleans is corrupt, and that's just not true. So, that's just... that's the fantasy element, I think, that they were talking about in the movie, for sure. Like...
Oh, yes. I think, no. So something happens, but Renfield saves Rebecca.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so sometime in the search, she gets, like, shot in the stomach or shot somewhere, and then, Renfield winds up saving her, and then, he takes her back to his apartment, and, because she arrests him, and he's like, you're going to jail, and he's like, okay, well, blah, 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 because she thinks he murdered everybody, which he didn't murder these people. He's murdered a lot of people, but not these people, so that's okay.
If you're going to pin murders on me, lady, get it right.
Exactly. But, so because of that, they get away, and then they're back at his apartment, and it's like, so this is like we're entering like the third scene or the third act of this movie, and it's just constant, which isn't bad necessarily. It's just constant action and violence right now, but there just wasn't like enough build up, in my opinion, to really kind of like merit it or to like make it be like, okay, I'm kind of bored now. But so they're back in the apartment. She's now healed up, and Renfield's like explaining his life to her, basically.
Yeah. And, Rebecca said he continued true origins while confirming. Hold on. I think, he mentioned something about when he left his, like, wife and daughter to become the familiar.
Well, and that's part of that. I mean, again, he was a scummy dude. He had a wife and a kid. And, like, he said, like, he was because he was trying to broker the land deal because that would give the life for him, his wife, and child what they wanted. But really, Dracula was like, no, 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 no. You wanted this for you. You didn't give a damn about them because he just abandoned the wife and kids. He only told him he was grabbing a pack of cigarettes, and then they haven't seen him since. I guess it was back in like the early 1900s. So, did they have packs of cigarettes back then? I don't know. Whatever the equivalent of pack of cigarette is, that's what he told his family and never showed back up.
Yeah, so they get attacked. So I think it's interesting, like you were saying, because Renfield, like even she wakes up in his apartment over, and he still has the handcuffs on or whatever.
Well, he's
like
like
he
one
could've broken
handcuff
out.
on. He's like making her breakfast, and he's like, no, 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 I'm still arrested, and he like handcuffs himself again. It's like, see, I'm still arrested. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, so they get attacked, and I think that this is also in the trailer. Like he's like just ripping limbs and killing, killing the attackers. And then once they've like survived the wave of attackers, they decide that they want to take the fight to the Lobos crime family or whatever. And so they just gather a bunch of weapons, steaks, and garlic, all the classic vampire hunting stuff that you can just get at your local, Home Depot. And then so they go to the Lobos like headquarters.
Yeah.
And this is where we see that Dracula has officially made Teddy his familiar. So like his eyes are glowing, and then like, so are several like. I feel like everybody that was like all the other like henchmen, their eyes were glowing as well.
It was like
So
there were like 6 of them. Like there's Renfield with his powers, and then there's Teddy and like 5 other dudes who also have superpowers. And somehow, some way, Renfield wins.
Yeah. Oh, also, I forgot to say, it was like one of the reasons why they wanted to storm the Lobos headquarters is because Rebecca's sister has been kidnapped by the Lobos.
Yeah, Rebecca's sister Kate, who's the FBI agent, who was Rebecca was trying to get. It was Kate was like, I'm the sister doing this the right way to take him down. You're the loose cannon cop, and I'm like, okay,
who doesn't play by anybody's rules but their
exactly.
own.
I'm like, okay, I've seen this story before. I know what's going on.
You definitely have.
Yeah.
But there's a fight. I mean, the fight is kind of cool, but it was like it's weird because of the fact that I feel like they could have leaned in heavier into the fact that these are vampires fighting, right? But I think so Renfield fights Teddy and his guys. Rebecca, I think, fights the mom or something like that.
Yeah, I think Rebecca fights the mom, and then Kate is there too, and she's really fucked up. So then, like, after Teddy's defeated, and the other henchmen are defeated, it's just Renfield, Kate, and Dracula. Sorry, Renfield, Rebecca, and Dracula, and Kate is like very, very hurt, and Dracula's like, my blood can save her. All you have to do is like, swear your loyalty.
Swear your loyalty. So like, Rebecca's like, well, my sister's all I have left. Like, I don't, I would do anything to save her. So like, she feigns as if she's going to join Dracula's side, but she's just trying to get close because they're in the Teddy's mom's office, and there's they put these like blinds down, so because it's daytime or whatever. I feel like they were fighting at night. Whatever. Day and night, really. I guess it's just New Orleans.
What
sun,
is time?
It does what it will. But yeah, so she's just pretending so that she can get close to Dracula to get the switch to open the blinds and save. So obviously the blinds are opened and Dracula gets burned by the sun, but he turns into a bunch of bats first.
Yes.
And then to escape. And I think they. God, this.
Honestly, I would have fallen asleep at this point. Like, I was bored. I was bored. I was starting to fall asleep a little bit here, but I'm pretty sure. Renfield's all fucked up and he's beat up and really hurt.
Yeah.
And then they're in the other room or whatever. And this was a pretty good part where Dracula has Rebecca and he's has her in a chokehold or whatever. And then,
Yes,
but
yes.
how it is with Renfield's body being like underneath, Rebecca shoots Dracula's foot, and Dracula's like, "What do you think it's going to do? Something?" She's like, "No, but you'll bleed." And then the blood from Dracula goes onto Renfield.
Drops on Renfield, and he gets healed,
Yeah.
and he's able to. I think, and they also put him. So they work together and put him in this circle
Yeah.
or something like
Well,
that.
so before that too, all of a sudden Renfield can now fight Dracula equally. I was like, what?
I mean, I guess he has his blood.
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so then either way they trick Dracula because for the purification circle, which normally you need salt and like, communion wafer and whatnot, works A-okay with cocaine. So remember that, kids. In a pinch, cocaine will do. And then
But yeah, so they put him in this sacred circle that she says she found on like a Pinterest or some shit like that. I was just some stupid ass
On a
reference.
quick side note, remember the Rambling Kids do not condone cocaine usage. Just want to point that out there, is making sure. Ding! Yes, so she found it on Etsy or whatever, on Tumblr.
That's what it is, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. But so now that he's trapped in this circle, he can't get out. And they're like, we don't know how to kill Dracula, but they just so happen to be in some torture chamber.
Yeah, the torture.
Oh, like from the earlier, like you were
Yes.
saying. So they're in the torture chamber. So they just start beating him like to death, and it was like they cut him up.
Yeah.
They put him in like ice cubes or some shit like that. It was
Yeah, so they beat the crap out of him because I guess he's can't do anything once he's in the circle. Though Renfield can go in the circle because he also has the unholy blood. But I digress. Vince. Whatever. But yeah, so they beat the crap out of Dracula, cut him up into a bunch of itty bitty pieces, and I think each piece they like encase in concrete, and then they just like put the concrete in the water, and but separate it really far out because they're like, I don't fully know how to kill Dracula, but it's going to take him a long time to get back together from this, which is totally true.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, so they dismember him, do all that stuff to make sure that he may reform, but it's going to take a very long time. And then they use some of his blood to heal Rebecca's sister, Kate, and then they arrest the Teddy's mom.
Yes.
So they finally have it. I mean, I don't think there's anybody left, but
yeah,
they do arrest
they got
Teddy's
her.
mom as the leader. As a leader of the Lobo, crime family. So they kind of get that revenge. And then what do we see? Oh, and then the I think the final scene was Renfield back at the support group, and he used Dracula's blood to bring back all the members of the support group.
Which I was like, I appreciate this, but no thank you. I was one of those, I'm like, thank you so much for the offer. I really appreciate it. No thank you. I decline.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that's it. I think it was very much like the tale of like trying to the basis of it was that support group, I assume, and it was just like getting out of a toxic relationship, no matter what it is, and finding that strength, that you don't need this person. You are just as strong without them as you think you are with them, which was nice, and then just wrapped around the Dracula story.
Yeah. What you can do is that you
family.
have toxic relationships, and then like you can redeem yourself, right? Like it's like
Yes.
the
Yeah,
long
that was
way,
a big
you
thing.
can still make things right by like being a better person as time goes on. Like you're not just because like you may have done terrible things in the past, like murder lots of innocents and kill a lot of nuns and babies, but you're a redeemable person at the end, right? That's what they're trying to say.
Yeah. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. So at the end of all of our podcasts, we always like to just kind of revisit our initial review. Mike, do you still give it 2.5? What do you think?
Yep, 2.5.
Yeah.
Because it was like I'm saying, it was like we were obviously there, maybe a little bit tipsy, but it was just like there was a lot of forgettable things. Like I think the action was really cool, but it was like getting to it's like you said, it's like Cocaine Bear. Anytime the bear was on screen, it was dope.
Yeah.
But it was like all that other human stuff was just like, we do not care. Somebody needs to get mauled right
Yeah,
now.
and that was, it was just like, we need exposition because movies require exposition, but let's just kind of speed through this exposition and not bother building anything with it. Or, just you have classic tropes, so you don't really need to build the exposition. But yeah, so with that in mind too, I'm going to stick with my 2.5. Again, a 2.5, I will always say, is not a terrible score for a movie. It was entertaining. I didn't hate the movie or dislike the movie even. I was just kind of like, meh, it's a movie. Would I watch it again? I might watch it again. If it was on, if it's on free on HBO Max and I need to clean my kitchen, I'll put it on. because I'm gonna because it'll be on in the background while I'm doing other stuff. But I probably would not sit down and watch it from start to finish again. No. Yeah, fair. Well, cool. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We hope you appreciate Renfield. And again, if you like vampire comedy action, still go see it. It's not a bad movie by any means. But yeah, that we are the Meddling Kids. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach us on Gmail at 2meddlingkids@gmail.com. And our Twitter and Instagram is at 2meddlingkids. Mike, how can they reach out to you?
On Instagram at Days from Legendary.
Excellent. And if you'd like to reach out to me, I am at EdHunt77 on Instagram and Twitter. I kind of have abandoned my Twitter, but I still have it. I just don't tweet. But maybe one day I will. We'll see. But cool. Thank you again, everybody, and we'll be back next week with a new movie review. We'll see you soon.
Bye.